You just look so uncomfortable. I think you're like, oh.
No, it's fine. I just got back from the Clone Wars.
All right. Welcome to another episode. This is the first episode of the Obi-Wan Kenobi series on Disney Plus.
Yeah, we're finally there.
We are finally there. We are just, I don't even really care that Obi-Wan is out. I am just so happy that we're done with the prequels.
Yeah.
I don't want to watch the prequels again.
Nope.
As long as there is air in my lungs.
But the one thing we can say is that going back and rewatching the prequels paid off because they call back to a lot of
the
prequel stuff.
Did you notice how in the Obi-Wan's like nightmare flashback scene, they only show like the good parts of the sequel?
Yeah. Basically the most important parts that you had, like, yeah. But you know, it's interesting.
Yeah.
And I don't know what it means. But I was on board with it. Then they showed Jake Lloyd Anakin, little kid Anakin. Oh. And I was like, everything else made sense because all the things they were showing, Obi-Wan had seen with his own eyes.
So is Obi-Wan and Anakin having shared memory dreams, Force dreams?
Yeah, do you think they're doing like a Rey and
no
Kylo thing?
No, but I do think that the Force does work in a way where it can fluctuate like that. Like you can see somebody else's memories, or you can see.
Well, yeah, because the only reason I said that was because when he says Anakin, it cuts, does the hard cut to him in the tank.
And they make it seem like Anakin is bent on finding Obi-Wan.
They really do, yeah.
So that makes me think that like his level of the Force almost can bleed into Obi-Wan's and maybe even like find him.
Yeah.
Because isn't that how Darth Maul found Obi-Wan at one point too? No,
I think so.
He used the holocrons too, but I think he used the Force to find. Yeah, I don't remember the details of that. But so they did the first two episodes. I don't know why. We never really found out why they did that, because it was, this last weekend was Star Wars Celebration.
Right.
I mean, still going on today, I think, actually.
I think so, yeah.
I haven't really been paying attention to a lot of the stuff that's come out of that yet, but
they released the Andor trailer and they released Bad Batch season 2.
Saw that. They released for the new Jedi game.
Yeah.
Which looks really good.
And I think a couple other things, but that was pretty much it.
Yeah.
So far, at least.
Yeah, so we'll see. But yeah, it's just interesting. I mean, I don't know.
And Mando 3. Yeah.
I saw some parts of that. I haven't seen like a full like trailer yet.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. But they did.
But you're right. Yeah, it's weird that why I don't know. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. But
maybe they wanted to come out that Friday for Celebration, so like they could have like a crowd watch it there. But they would have been able to watch the second episode there anyway. But I don't know. But it was nice. Honestly, it was nice being able to watch 2 episodes at once.
Yeah, just get more of the story, right?
I do think it helped the story out. I think if you watch that first episode, because not that I want to say nothing really happens in it, because a lot does happen.
Oh yeah, right. I know. Right.
It's just one of those things where it kind of ends on something that is exciting.
Right. You're like, oh, and then yeah.
So I'm glad that you got to see the first 2 episodes. So for us going forward, what we're going to do is we're going to do 2 episodes every time we talk about it.
Yeah.
Just so there's more material for us to cover.
And I think less room for speculation, right? Because it's like, if we watch one episode, like, well, maybe he'll do this, then you watch it, like, we're totally wrong, or, whatever. It's like, it feels more likely that if we speculate, we're going to be closer to where they're going with it.
Yeah, I think Obi-Wan is going to let Anakin kill him.
It feels like that's probably going to happen. Yeah.
Yeah.
I also feel like little Princess Leia is probably going to make it home.
I think so. Yeah, I think that's probably going to happen. Yeah.
Yeah.
What is interesting to me though is that the time frame is like it's like only 10 years off from the New Hope, right? Because
I know, yeah.
Technically, Princess Leia is like 10, right?
Right. Yeah.
And she gets she's trying to get the plans from Darth Vader in New Hope when she's like 20, 21, somewhere in there.
Well, I think she's only like 20, maybe even 19.
Yeah.
Because like I think if you look up the BBY thing of Revenge of the Sith, I think it's like 19 years before A New Hope. So if this is 10 years later, I think this is they'd be 19. Both of them, Luke and Leia, would be 19.
Yeah.
Which I think is why they're making the little girl Leia like hyper diplomatic and smart, so that it explains that when she suddenly ages into Carrie Fisher, who's played by like a 30-year-old woman, it explains like why she's a little more mature.
So when they first announced the show, I never once considered the fact of seeing Leia as a child. Like,
no, I didn't either. No.
And it's just funny that like, so his whole like thing is like he's supposed to stay on Tatooine, he's supposed to look after Luke.
Right.
All of a sudden it's like, no, you gotta go save Leia. And he's like, I can't leave the planet.
Yeah.
Like, well, you can't.
Which is funny because they don't realize it, right? And that's where that's the only thing I kind of thought was a little too on the nose was having Obi-Wan rescue Leia. And it's like, sure, he doesn't do that. Luke and Han Solo do that. And Obi-Wan in A New Hope. It was like, it felt a little too on the nose.
But it also does kind of show how Leia knows who Ben is.
Right. It's a thing where they're connecting the dot. Like, why would Princess Leia reach out specifically to this hermit on this planet who she potentially doesn't know, right? Because she's a baby. When you leave her off on Revenge, she wouldn't know who Obi-Wan is unless her dad told her. But even then, it's a war buddy, right? It's it's somebody from his past, which is not like, it's not really that big or important of a thing.
Yeah.
I thought of you, the every single scene they showed, I thought, I bet you Caleb is loving this, is when every time they showed Obi-Wan at the table cutting the meat and folding it and then getting on the thing and feeding his thing and going out to the thing, I said, to me, it felt like the thing that Caleb always talks about is you like to see the monotony.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like you would like to see what he does. Like you like when a character is thrown out of his element, right? He's no longer this cool Jedi master who's doing Clone Wars missions and saving the galaxy. He's just this random nobody out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
Just doing this thing.
He's not a general. He's not a general.
Right, exactly.
To the point where like I was surprised I'm like, man, I can't even believe he has a job. Like he's working a job.
Sure.
But it's like, how would he survive on the,
I love the Jawa interaction with him in this little hug. He was just like, listen, dude, if you're going to break my stuff and then resell it to me, it was at least
clean it. And like, cleaning costs more.
More money. Yeah.
Jawas, man.
I love
if you like the Jawas, you'll love Boba Fett and you'll love Mandalorian.
Okay.
Very heavy into like the Jawa, thing.
Yeah, watching Obi-Wan definitely made me be like, I got to start watching the other stuff.
Yes. Oh, so speaking of that, because you haven't watched those,
right?
How do you like their Disney Plus's like Star Wars intro? Because that's
with like the lights. Yeah, it's really cool. Yeah,
it's super cool.
I it's funny. I didn't know it, and then Star Trek: Strange New Worlds does this really weird Star Trek intro, where like because the Star Trek shows have their own separate introductions for each series.
That's cool.
But before this series starts, it shows like the Enterprise flying around, and it makes this big thing, and it makes the badge symbol, and it says
cool.
Star Trek. And I was like, oh, that's neat. So then I'm watching Obi-Wan, and it does the thing where it's like C-3PO's head and whoever, and Darth Vader, and right. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. And then I was like, oh, this is a lot like the Strange New Worlds thing. And then my brain went, no, the Strange New Worlds thing is a lot like the Star Wars thing, because clearly that
they started that intro, came out with the Mandalorian.
Gotcha.
They debuted that. That's like their cinematic like series intro where it shows the helmets, it shows C-3PO, it shows Mando.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and it's got the light. It's really cool. It's subtle, but it's right to the point, and it's Star Wars. That's why I like it.
Yeah.
And what's cool too is so Mandalorian and Book of Boba Fett very much have like their very own like music, like their musical intros.
Yeah,
Mandalorian is like super Western, and Boba Fett is like super tribal.
Okay.
And I believe John Williams came back for this.
I think so. Yeah, I think so.
And it's very much the like close to what the original Star Wars music is like.
Yeah, like sounds like
very like harmony, and it's really good. It's really good.
It is really good. Wow, yeah, John Williams.
Yeah, I mean, it can't. How could it be bad, right?
Right.
It's like Hans Zimmer.
True.
It's like when like he did all the Pirates. It's like, how could they be bad if he's
right.
Yeah. So yeah, no, I did. I really liked the mundane aspect of just him being on Tatooine. Like that planet sucks.
Right.
Every day for him just sucks, To the point too where he meets that other Jedi guy, right? And he kind of like changes his accent.
Yes.
He doesn't talk like Obi-Wan. He's got a really thick accent. I don't think you know who you're talking to,
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I like how he tells that kid, he says, if you want to do something, go up to the middle of the desert and bury your saber.
Right.
And it's like, obviously, because he already did that.
Yeah.
And how did you like that when he opens that box and it's got his saber and Anakin's saber in it?
I know. I was like, oh man.
Super good.
He's really good at he is. Oh man, Ewan McGregor in this thing is amazing.
So good, right?
When they're talking to him, and I was happy. What's his name? I can't remember his name. The guy who plays Bail Organa.
Oh yeah, I love him too.
When they call him, right, and it was cool. He's on the hollow thing, right? He's on the little thing, the little like
puck. Oh, and the puck rings, yeah.
The puck, and he says, and he's talking to him, and it just like his face is just so much. He just had so much emotion where he's just like, I'm not that man anymore. I'm not him.
Yeah.
I was just like, wow, okay. He really, 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 he really sells like the depression.
It's sad.
And like how much he gave up, and
he's tormented about like killing Anakin.
Right. Yeah.
And then in that second episode, when he hears them talking, and they say, I'm taking you back to Lord Vader myself. And he's like, that's when he comes to the realization that Vader is alive. Like Anakin is alive.
Yeah. Yep.
But so remember how I was telling you a couple weeks ago, I was like, hey, what if Liam Neeson?
I know.
And so in that, like, did you watch the recap in the beginning?
Yeah, I did watch the recap. Yeah.
I was almost not going to because we already did it.
Right. Me too. Yeah. Same.
But then I was like, I want to see what they specifically put in there because it usually always adds to what the theme is.
Yeah. Like you understand what they're driving at. Yeah.
And they very much show Yoda saying, "Oh, when you're on Tatooine, I have a mission for you. It's I'm going to teach you how to talk to your old master." And then he wakes up from that nightmare and he says, "Qui-Gon, master," like he's been trying to contact Qui-Gon.
Right. I know.
Yeah, so that would be cool, right?
Yeah, it really. I mean, yeah. So the thing that I thought, I don't know if you had the same thought. I believe since the show did something I did not expect it to do.
Yeah.
Which was immediately open up with Revenge of the Sith.
Hire Flea from Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Yes. No, they open up on Revenge of the Sith with the younglings.
Oh, yeah.
And as the show has gone on, there's been no true purpose for that other than execute Order 66 to show them dying.
Yeah.
But I was like, they're specifically showing these kids and that, whatever her name is, the third sister, is that what she is? She's really, really angry. Like, she really wants Obi-Wan Kenobi to the point where she stabs the Grand Master.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I didn't see that coming.
So my thought is, and somebody else, who said it? Somebody said that they were once Jedi, right?
Yes, they were.
So
they were Jedi who have been tortured into being Inquisitors.
Okay.
They've been like mind wiped, like the Nazis did, or they were just Jedi, like on the verge of didn't really appreciate the order of the Jedi anyway.
Gotcha.
So like a lot of
overtaken, yeah.
So a lot of like younglings that were training, but they never really believed in it anyway, and then
Well, that's what my thought was. I was wondering if the third sister here, Reva, was one of the younglings, and she feels that Obi-Wan is like.
I think so. Yeah,
personally.
I think that's definitely what they're trying to set up, because she, when she makes that big speech out in the crowd, and she says, "Jedi are cowards. They will abandon you. They leave you." It's very, very personal. Like that's what happened to her,
Yeah, that's how I feel.
Yeah,
and it's like other than. I think the other thing was weird too is like she knows. She was telling Obi-Wan that Anakin is Vader.
Mm-hmm.
So it makes me think that she probably was in. They're probably going to show scenes of her hiding in the temple and showing Anakin killing the younglings.
Yeah, right.
And she's going to know that, and she's going to hear them call him Lord Vader. The troopers, you know what I mean? Oh yeah, and the guy, remember the trooper, the old trooper?
That was cool. Yeah, dude. I heard his voice.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God. And then I was like, dude, are they gonna do like a live action like Rex, like Commander Rex or something? Yeah. But then I was going through the Rolodex in my brain of like what Rex was doing and where he was at that time, and he was still doing like secret missions. He wasn't in the gutters for change. But seeing him as like a live action clone trooper, like after the war, being like he needs. He's basically a bum. He's a veteran.
Well, yeah, it immediately set the tone when it shows Obi-Wan standing and stormtroopers go by him, and you're like, oh, okay, so like it's no longer clone troopers.
Clones are outdated. Yeah.
Yeah.
Why he is even still like alive is interesting, because most of the clones were either. That first round of clones joined and wore stormtrooper armor, or they were killed. They were just.
Oh, okay.
The new stormtroopers are trained. They're they're just people.
Right. That's kind of what you see with Finn, right? He's just like a kid taken and trained.
Yep. Yep. So even like the Bad Batch gets into that, right? Where it's we're phasing in like actual people to be troopers. They're training troopers from the ground up.
Yeah.
Because they're more loyal. Well, maybe not more loyal than clone troopers, but yeah, but that was just a cool like.
It was great. Yeah, it was
He,
great.
he had been saying in interviews like forever that he's like, yeah, I would love to play any live action clone trooper, you know.
Yeah.
Obviously the fans want Rex or Cody.
Wow. Yeah.
But getting just like a normal trooper like is
super just having him once again in the movie or in the show is great.
Yeah, I loved it.
And I like too that he gave him money, right? Yeah.
Because he served.
I like that
with all these guys. It's
right.
It's the stuff that those movies they rush through, like we were talking about. The years and years that the Jedi's served with these clone troopers. It was a brotherhood, you know.
Yeah. Yep. It's true.
So it's cool, but it's cool to see Obi-Wan going through and just really have, like you said, he's super remorseful about a ton of things.
Oh, well, yeah. Yeah, he's like heartbroken. He's a broken person, really.
And then he gets that little so in the New Hope you see Luke playing with this like speeder thing.
Oh yeah.
And so that's like what, Obi-Wan was dropping off that he bought from the Jawas.
Yeah, I figured it was something that was in the movie.
Yeah. Yeah. And so his uncle, it is cool because like obviously like why would they want him in the picture, you know?
Yeah.
No. Why would they?
Yeah, no, I know. It's a type of thing where I understood like Owen's perspective when he confronts him.
Yeah.
After coming back, like don't be coming around, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, we don't need your help. All it does is like put a target on our head.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
That's why he says in the market, like I didn't do it for you.
Right.
Obviously trying to protect Luke.
I know.
Yeah. I'm trying to think what else was really cool. That like you said, back where he was like working that like big stingray thing.
Yeah.
As far as I know, that's not like anything that we've seen before.
I have no idea what it was. I had like
Tatooine. Tatooine has a ton of awful alien monsters, but
it's true. It's true. Yeah, at first I thought it was like bones, but then when they cut to him cutting, I was like, oh, it's like they're using it for meat.
Yeah. I like how every day after knowing that they're giving less and less pay, Obi-Wan would get more and more meat.
Yeah.
He's a survivor,
Right.
Like how nobody's watching them either. It's just like quitting time and they just like leave the meat where it is.
Yeah, I did think he was gonna get caught, but
yeah,
so far he hasn't.
But it's cool though how the Grand Inquisitor there, he says basically like Jedis will hunt themselves.
Yeah.
They can't help what they are. If they see a person in need, they're gonna step in. Like they can't let it happen. But so far, Obi-Wan has seen some pretty awful things, and he's just whatever. he just
kind of lets it happen. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I do wonder if him saving Leia, which was and him struggling to use it again. Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah. That whole planet that he goes to.
Yeah.
Is a super cool planet.
Yeah, it was really cool.
That even kind of happens in the Mandalorian, where when the Mandalorian saves like Grogu, like takes Grogu back. He's on a planet full of bounty hunters. It's a bounty hunting planet, and all their like watches and pucks go off like reward for the Mando.
I gotcha.
So now you're on a planet full of these mercenaries, and it's a bad place to be,
Yeah. I thought he was going to make a joke when he fought the Zabrak guy in the hallway, right? Mm-hmm. Like another Darth Maul species guy, but
yeah.
And that was funny, right? When it was interesting when he punched him. He was like, my like, hand.
Yeah.
He's not used to it, right? He didn't punch people and beat people up. It was
cool to see him use like hand-to-hand stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you feel like they're gonna show Yoda?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Yeah,
I
it
don't know
just
why they would. Yoda's like exile on Dagobah is very much just he was there till Luke showed up, you know.
yeah.
But Obi-Wan, it's funny when they first announced the show, we were like, what is he gonna do? Like he doesn't
Yeah.
do anything until Luke is like in his 20s. Um, but having him save Leia, like I didn't even think about it, but honestly, it makes sense that like you said, like
Yes.
that's why Leia knows him, and that's why Leia's like requesting his help with the
Yeah.
plans, you know.
And I think she also says like I think there's a line in that movie too where she talks about how Obi-Wan was a friend of her father's, essentially. Yeah.
Yeah, you know what's cool too is seeing Alderaan again.
Yeah.
Like you really don't see a whole lot in live action, but now like you really get to see like how beautiful Alderaan is.
I
And
know. I
so
know.
even with like those senators in the beginning talking about, you know, Bale is still trying to be like, well, you know, there's still slavery and all
Yeah.
the horrible stuff the Empire's not solving. And they're like, oh, just it's fine, don't worry about it, you know. The Emperor's fine. So like,
Right. Right.
so they're like wiping their hands of that stuff. Like it basically ends up with their planet getting exploded
Yeah.
just because they didn't get involved in anything.
Yep.
It's awful.
Well, I almost wonder if at the end of this, it's gonna where Bale is going to like put his foot down and whatever relative was being like, "Oh, I didn't came here to talk about slavery. I came here to eat your
I
food."
can't eat food.
I was thinking maybe he puts his foot down and like essentially breaks away from that stuff,
They
and
might.
now it's a planet that like the Empire knows is like not loyal.
Well, there's a reason that Leia like joins the rebellion
Right.
like immediately. like
Yeah.
she like when you think of the original Star Wars and the rebellion, Leia was like she's already been
Yeah.
on the rebellion side.
Right. I mean, well, they get the plans of the Death Star to her in Rogue One, right?
Yeah.
So she knows.
I hope
That's
this
a,
is more than a 6 episode show. Like I hope they do another season, but I don't know. I don't
I
see
don't think it is. I think this is it.
that's kind of sucks, you know.
It does. No, it does.
I would love to see at least another season and then tie right into Rogue One.
Yeah. Me
How
too.
so seeing Anakin in the end in the second episode was pretty cool.
Yeah. It
You can even, you can
definitely
even
made me
tell
be
it's
like,
him.
oh.
Yeah. Yeah, to the point where you can't even really tell that that's like Hayden Christensen.
No, not at all. I couldn't tell at all. What was I thinking? There was something else yeah, there was something I can't remember.
Yeah, I don't know. I watched both of these episodes Friday morning, and then I watched Fallen Kingdom right after. So
Oh
I
wow, yeah.
really go back to think about stuff.
Yeah, same. I watched like the first 20 minutes in the morning, and then when I got home later that night, I watched the remaining and the other episode.
Yeah, it's just cool to see a beloved character like Obi-Wan just
Yeah.
be totally out of his element. You know, he's just
Yeah, he's not the cool Obi-Wan we watched in the movies, right? Yeah.
he's not. It's very much like not you doing anything to draw attention to himself. So he's not using the Force for anything. He's not.
Right.
It's just like man.
Yeah, and also to like when that other Jedi guy reaches out to him and him just being like just so
Yeah, we lost. We're done.
yeah, like defeatist and not willing to help this guy and all this stuff. It was very telling. It was very telling.
Yeah, it's just sad. Just sad. I always knew his character was just like sad after that because
Yeah.
like
Did
losing.
you catch the C3PO?
I did. R2D2 was there too.
Oh, was he?
He's like right off to the right,
Oh, I
serving.
didn't catch him.
He's like serving a tray, and the camera kind of goes whoop, and then
No,
back around. Yeah.
I didn't catch him. I saw C3PO though. That was cool.
Yep. Yeah. So they're both there. I mean, they're both under the servitude of the Organas.
Yeah, which makes sense, which is why they're on the ship.
Yeah. So what I think is kind of cool is showing like Leia as a kid, like loving the woods and loving like running away and not wanting to do anything really with people.
Yeah.
It fills in that gap where the Battle of Endor, where Leia just like immediately is like fine with being like dressed down and in the trees with all the Ewoks.
Oh, yeah, true.
Totally like just totally fine, you know? Because when you first see her in that movie, you think she's a prissy princess.
Yeah.
And then in the second movie, she's just like, no, I'm a tree person now. Like I just live in the woods now.
Yeah.
So it just shows, and it's cool to see like how her and Luke are still kind of similar in a lot of ways.
Oh yeah.
They both run away from their parents to go do, adventure stuff, and yeah, it's just kind of cool to see them both as kids.
Yeah, it really was.
Yeah, I can't believe it because, like I said, like we were saying, like never once did I think it was going to have anything to do with Leia at all.
Oh no, not the slightest. And I thought the guy who was being a trickster was kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
He was pretending to have the Force and like closing.
Oh yeah, I did like that. Yeah, but then to come around and actually like help Obi-Wan.
Yeah, I mean his point, it made sense. He wasn't like a bad guy. He just was. He was helping people for money, basically.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I know. I did like that.
It was good.
Yeah, it was pretty good. So yeah, the Grand Inquisitor dying in the second episode. Well, that remains to be seen, but you assume that that's what happens.
Yeah.
I mean, I would assume so. I don't see how you would survive that, but
a lot of people get mashed pretty. I mean, Darth Maul got cut in half, so
nobody's really dead till they're dead, and then even then they're just Force.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to what each episode does to help.
Yeah.
A New Hope, and the only thing that makes me sad. The only thing that made me sad with the show is that as much as it's great to see Ewan McGregor and Hayden Christensen back, and even Joel Egerton or whatever playing Uncle Owen, it made me sad because I thought what you said earlier in this podcast was because those movies are so rushed and so forceful. It's like it's this series that is bridging those two movies when it's not necessary. Like you don't need, like this show shouldn't have been made in the sense of like to understand like why things played out the way they are from Revenge of the Sith to A New Hope or even Rogue One. Yeah. It's like, what happened here? We don't understand it. All of a sudden he's just like, he's not like this. She's not like this. All these characters. So it just makes me, I'm happy it's happening, but I'm also like sad because it just shows how much those prequel movies like failed.
That's what happens when you start in the middle of a story.
Yeah.
And you set these characters on who they are and the actors act how they assume the character would be.
Right.
And they go and then they say, well, you know what? Let's show everybody what happened like 30 years, 40 years before this.
Right.
It's a whole different set of characters, actors, and now you're trying to blend those together, but there's still like a 30-year gap,
right?
Because you haven't told the complete story,
right?
It's just, man, if they would have made, although Ian McGregor is kind of like right at the perfect age now to be like in between, so he is. Well, like I honestly believe, so watching New Hope, I honestly believe that Ian McGregor right now is like 10 years away from being Alec Guinness.
Oh yeah.
In New Hope. You know what I mean? Like he looks the part.
Yeah, he does.
But when you see him in New Hope, he is very much like he's not the droid you're looking for.
Yeah.
He's very much Obi-Wan.
He did the thing too, right? He played his beard.
I love that. So seeing him like thinking, who's got the the only other thing I want to see is
the fingers, yeah.
I love that. Which I think he will. I mean, that's a very even in Rebels when he fights Darth Maul.
Darth Maul, yeah.
He does the thing, That's like his pose,
Yeah. I'm sure he will.
Yeah. So
and the other thing too, I just remembered was I didn't know, and I saw it on a news thing on the internet, on Instagram or something. The girl that gives Obi-Wan the like spice jar that he uses is like Ewan McGregor's actual daughter.
Really?
Yeah.
That's cool.
It is cool. Yeah. I had no idea, but yeah, it was cool. I saw it. Somebody, I think they posted something on Instagram. I saw it. It was cool.
That is cool. I didn't know that.
Which is why I guess like the line, like I used to be somebody's daughter too, was kind of like ha 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 ha,
Gotcha. Oh, that's funny. Yeah, I wouldn't have known that.
No, yeah.
Yeah. So no, I really enjoyed those first 2 episodes.
Me too.
Really looking forward to what is coming next. It's gonna be hard to like now next Friday to like want to talk about it and saving it.
Well, that's the funny thing is I didn't realize it until somebody said it. I guess the 3rd episode is Wednesday.
What?
It's not even Friday. It's Wednesday.
This Wednesday.
Apparently,
it's going to be a Wednesday release every week.
I guess. Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Wow.
I mean, that's what I heard, but maybe it's wrong. I don't know.
It might be. Mandalorian was Friday.
Yeah, you said all the Star Wars stuff was. It doesn't have
it. Friday. When did I?
No, it says June 1st. Yeah, that's Wednesday. Yeah, they're Wednesday releases.
I think Bad Batch was a Wednesday. I can't remember. Mando and Boba were Fridays.
Yeah.
Wednesday. That's interesting. Yeah. Well, yeah. So I am excited going forward. Honestly, that first 2 episodes really got me.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm very, very, and I'm really, really interested to see how Anakin and Obi-Wan like come together again, because that's what it seems like it's leading
they're going to.
Yeah.
It's almost like they have to have a battle. Ugh. The life of a podcaster.
One eternity later.
Yeah, so I don't know. I really feel like they're leading up to like one more battle between Obi-Wan and Anakin before you see him do the final battle with Luke.
Yeah. And the thing I was wondering was when they fight each other, I think Darth Vader says to him, finally the apprentice has become the master. So my thought is maybe Obi-Wan kind of digs at him about the fact that the Jedi Council never make Anakin the master in this show. So he says, like, Anakin, I'm still a master.
Yeah, basically like you join the dark side to have all that power.
Or the other thing I wonder too, I think we talked about it in
life, and you're still not a Jedi master.
Yeah, the other thing we talked about too is I almost wonder if like he's gonna have like Obi-Wan's gonna have the chance to kill Vader. And he's gonna go to do it, and that's when Qui-Gon shows up and is like, no.
That's what I want. If there's one thing from this show that I would just like, over the top for me is that.
Yeah, basically make the prequels and the original trilogy like just come together beautifully.
Qui-Gon explained to him like, look, Luke is the key. You're just gonna have to show Luke, like the Anakin can be good again. Anakin can overcome. Yeah, man, that would be so good.
They feel like that's what they're doing. They feel like they're bridging. They feel like they're bridging a lot of gaps between 3 and 4, and like you said, like we were talking about, like how they're making it make sense why Leia would reach out to Obi-Wan and like all this stuff. Just all these little
Because then-
things that you didn't necessarily think about or need. They're giving more life to it.
Especially because that line in New Hope, right, where Obi-Wan says, "If you strike me down, I will become
Right.
powerful." How? Why would he know that? If he hadn't talked to Qui-Gon, how would he know that?
Yeah.
Qui-Gon very much has had to like explain to him, like it's bigger than us. Like the Force, this is how my understanding of the Force now.
Yeah.
Like we're on a path, Obi-Wan. We're on a path.
It's gonna be fascinating.
Yeah.
I think regardless of what happens, I think it's gonna be really cool.
Yeah, because basically after this show, the next time you see Obi-Wan is in Rebels, where he fights Darth Maul again,
Right.
and then New Hope.
Yeah, literally. Hello there. Like that's like the next. That's like the next live action thing you'll see. I mean,
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. So I don't know. For me, this has been so good, but I'm kind of used to like live action.
Yeah, you're used to the
Star
live
Wars
action
being,
Star Wars stuff
good.
being
So,
good,
like,
right? Yeah.
So for me, this is on the same level as like everything else has been. It's like, man, another good Star Wars show. I can't wait to see where it's going. But for you, it's like,
Yeah, it's night and day.
I mean, even like the cinematography and the CGI
Beautiful.
is like so.
And for me, I've seen the first episode of Mandalorian, so I know that it's done really well.
Yeah.
But to know that Obi-Wan is filmed the same way Mando is with that thing with the wraparound computer like generated scene, and that's how they film it. It's like, oh, okay, like it's amazing.
It's crazy. The first time that show, The Mandalorian, came out, and I was like, man, that was a great show. And then after the show was over, they showed like how they had been filming it, and you're like, I was like, what? It's a screen. It's like they go out and they film, like the camera pan on like the landscape,
Right.
You cast it to the TV, and it's just him walking on a stage. There's stuff in the foreground, obviously, but he's just on a stage. You're like, man, the stuff they can do. And that like that curve of the screen like specifically shows like depth and like
You're right.
Just the fact, honestly, just even some of the stupid stuff that like I've done with like cameras and stuff, knowing that like first of all, how are they using a camera to film a screen without it doing the like the wavelength?
Oh yeah.
And it's just like they're filming a screen. It's crazy.
It's true.
It's nuts.
That's a good point. That's a really good point. Yeah, I never thought about that.
Yeah, it's just like the next big thing in like movie production, and it's not for a movie production. That's what impresses me. It's for a TV show.
Yeah, and on top of it, 6 episodes. Right?
Yeah,
it's not like for like a series that's going to have 20 something episodes that goes on for 8 or 9 years.
Well, they're getting their money's worth. So Boba Fett takes place on Tatooine. Mando has a lot of episodes that take place on Tatooine. So they have, they have the set pieces. They have like the Tatooine town set pieces and stuff.
Yeah.
So, it's not a whole lot of scenes. Just that downtown scene. I'm sure that's the same set that they've used for like the town square, where they've done a lot of stuff in Boba Fett too.
Yeah. Okay.
Mos Eisley or Mos Espa, whichever. I don't think they really have said in the show which one it is. I would assume he's not in Mos Espa. That's kind of pretty shady.
Yeah.
Where the scum and villainy go.
Yeah.
But I very much love how he goes to his job. He goes into the city, and then he goes home, and he just sleeps on that cave floor.
Yep. And just hangs out.
Yeah, it's sad. There's something else too that
I like that he froze up at the end too when she was telling him that he was Vader.
Mm-hmm.
Like Anakin's alive, and he was just like, his way his face was like, what?
Yeah.
I enjoyed that a lot.
Yeah, he's a great actor too. Yeah, I know. So I'm looking forward to the next thing. The other thing that was kind of cool is so like in the newer movies where like Ray buys that like pack and she's cooking it over that stove thing and it like cooks and it turns into like instant food. I think
Oh, yeah, the bread thing, right? It makes
it turns into bread.
yeah.
But in this, you see like the little tablet he puts in the water and he stirs it and it turns like it like expands into like stew.
Stew, yeah, it was really cool.
And that little fireplace thing he had that he cooks on, it's just like two little fins. I just love like set piece stuff. It's just
Oh yeah.
it's just like finding something random and you're like, oh, this is a camp stove. That's clearly just like two little pieces of metal,
Well, I like the droid thing coming out, right? And it gives him the
Oh,
light.
sensor.
Yeah.
Yeah, the whole because every time he does it, it's blue. He goes in, and then that last time he red, and you're like, oh,
Oh no.
oh. Well, that's cool.
Yeah.
Even to the point too, where like they could have gave him a speeder bike, they could have gave him, anything, but they give him that same like creature that he
from the third movie. Yeah.
rides in on the third movie to drop off Luke.
Yeah. It's true.
I got to make his little binocs too.
Oh yeah.
They're super cool. We used to in Star Wars seeing like the big like square
The
one,
big chunky ones, like yeah.
clone trooper ones.
Yeah.
This is just like this really thin, piece. And
Yeah.
it's cool. I love that stuff.
Me too.
Cool. So Wednesday, next one.
Wednesday's number 3.
Yep. And then we will see you guys after 4 comes
4.
out.
Yeah, 4. Yeah.
Yeah, I like talking about 2. I like the idea of talking about 2.
Yeah.
Because
you think about it right now, like if we had only watched 1 and then talked about it, it's just basically like, isn't it cool that he's in this thing and this thing and this thing? We wouldn't have had any of the Princess Leia stuff. You wouldn't have the Anakin reveal at the end. Like you wouldn't have had any of that.
Yeah.
So I like it because it gives us more to chew on and talk about. And
yeah, I do too. And I think it was a good call on their part to do the 2 episodes the first.
Well, I didn't think about it until just now. If they were doing Wednesday releases, it's gonna overrun Miss Marvel, which I understand is not like a big rival to the Star Wars show, but like they must want the conclusion of Obi-Wan to not be the same time as Miss Marvel, because they were, if you did it the original boom, 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 right, like whatever, the 25th was episode 1, the first is the second episode. The Obi-Wan finale and the Miss Marvel finale would have been the same day. So they might have been trying to avoid like one of the shows doing poorly, which would be Miss Marvel. Sadly,
well, it's going to anyway, honestly. But it's just weird to even have like think about that, considering that they're both digital, they're both on the same streaming service. So just like you watch one and then you watch the other. It's not that big of a.
Yeah, no, you and I get that, but
honestly, what I totally forgot about was that like so Obi-Wan came out Friday. Great. Next day I was on there looking at something and I was like, oh my God, Stranger Things came out Friday too.
Yeah.
I had I love that show, but I had like no interest in watching it.
Yeah, same. Yeah.
I was like, no, like Obi-Wan is out. I'd much rather watch that.
Oh yeah.
It's also because like, I don't know, I'm not really, I love Stranger Things, but
well, me too. Yeah.
To me, it's more of a, it's not really a summer show. I don't know why. I think because it first came out in October.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah.
So it just doesn't feel like a sit inside in your air conditioner and watch, this show about.
Right. Especially when they're announcing that these things are like an hour and a half, 2 hour long episodes. And
are they really?
Some of them they said are really, really long.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's one of those things too, but honestly, I love that show, but it's getting to the point too where it's like how much more could they tell? Like what?
Yeah. it's a show where I'll eventually want to watch it and see it, but it's going to be after the entire thing's off. I don't want to do a week to week thing.
Yeah. That's how they're doing it.
Oh yeah, I don't think the whole season came out. I don't know.
I didn't know that. I thought didn't they used to do the full season and then you would watch it?
I mean, when digital streaming first came out, they would unload the entire season, but I think everybody does episode to episode now.
Because they're following Disney's lead.
Yep.
Yeah. Crazy.
Because I think they just, it gets people more to the platform, and too, like, unloading it all, like, you have people out there that literally like, oh, you just uploaded 10 episodes that are 2 hours long. Great. Okay, you release it on Friday. Saturday, I've seen everything. Like, everybody's already talking about it.
Yeah, right.
And it's like the phenomenon and like the specialness goes away within a week because everybody saw it. And they're just like, yep, that's cool. So now instead you get, a couple months of people talking about it.
Yeah, Tiger King came out, and that was like all you heard about for that week. That 2 weeks, everybody was talking about it. And then like 3 weeks later, nothing.
Right.
Nothing about it,
Yep.
So it's just that I think that's what happens. It's just people binge watch stuff. So you have these companies that they spend all this time and money producing these shows, and then they're like, here's the whole season. And like you said, people watch it the first day and a half. And they're like, that was great. When's the next season?
Right.
We just got done filming it. It took us 8 months to make it.
Right. You watched it in 20 hours, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It's funny to see like the fall of weekly shows and now the resurgence of like weekly shows. Like they're coming back and they're stronger than ever.
Yeah, they realized that chemistry and the way that works, like it worked for television, and it still works. Like it still works.
Well, that's one of those things. You can't give people everything they want, No.
Well, the case in point is exactly what you said, because there are people out there, and they're not trolls. They legitimately are like, wow, thanks for that X amount of episodes. When is the next season? And you're like, hey, we literally just gave this to you. Like, literally just gave it to you.
Yeah, it's not our fault that you have no self-control.
Right, exactly, yeah. Yep.
That's why I like watching an older show. So, like, every night with, like, dinner, we'll watch, like, an episode of House.
Right.
We're in, like, season 4, and we started that, like, probably over the winter.
Sure.
So it's like every night you watch one episode. So you go through the season a lot faster than you would if it was on weekly.
Yeah, on TV, right?
So many episodes in the season that you feel like you're not getting through it quick either.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't know. It's fun.
It is good. No, I like it. It's like, it's annoying because you want to see it all and watch it all right now, but at the same time, like it gives moments for this where you can think about it and really like enjoy it and kind of like ponder about it and like, like what are they really trying to do here?
It just, what is funny is like, so like when the Mandalorian's on, it's usually on a Friday night, and it's like a pizza night. We'll get a pizza, right. We'll watch Mandalorian episode, and it's great. And the nice thing about it is every episode is, even if there's some slow stuff, every episode is great. Grogu's in it, so every episode is great.
Yeah.
But it just reminds me of like back in the day when like you're like, oh man, Friday night, a new episode of Lost.
Oh,
you sit down and you watch it, and you're like watching, and you're like, I have no freaking idea what that was even about. Right. How that even ties into anything.
Yeah.
Oh, great! They found a new Dharma puzzle. No idea.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Cool. It's just the contrast of like, man, we're not in that era anymore where it's like a waste of time to sit down and watch a TV episode.
Right.
It is what it is, and it's not trying to be what it's not.
Yeah, true. Very true.
I don't miss that at all.
No. No.
No. But all right. Well, that'll cover Obi-Wan Kenobi and Lost.
Yeah. Episodes 1 and 2, which are interestingly, it was just untitled Part 1 and Part 2.
Mhm.
They
Yeah,
didn't have like neat titles.
I feel like Disney does that when they release stuff. And I think the next time you go on there, it'll show the episode name, if I'm not mistaken. Because sometimes their titles are very much like a spoiler.
Oh,
Yeah.
gotcha.
So like if episode 2 was called like The Princess, you're
I
like,
see.
oh, well that what the heck?
I see.
Just like the original soundtrack for Phantom Menace, third third musical score in it was called like Qui-Gon's Death or something. That was released before the movie.
Yeah.
I think they do that. I think that's happened a few times where like you go on and you watch the episode, and then the next time you go on there and watch the next one, it shows you like the name because you've already watched it. Because they don't want you necessarily to see the title or the name of the title.
Well, sure, yeah.
And then you have like Hulu, where they're like, hey, so this season that just dropped has these 12 episodes, and you can look at them, and you can look at the picture of each one and the title, but you can't watch them until they come out.
Interesting.
That's cool. Yeah. I think they do that. I don't know. It might not be. It might honestly just be called Part 1 and Part 2, but I feel like they've done that before.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm pulling it up here really quick.
Yeah, I feel
online it's still on the thing. It's called Part 1, Part 2.
Right. I just honestly feel like I've seen that before where it's not necessarily named until later.
Yeah. So it says the thing was when agents of the Empire pose a new threat, Obi-Wan Kenobi emerges after years of hiding. That was Part 1, Episode 1. And Episode 2, Part 2 was on a dangerous, crime-ridden world, Obi-Wan becomes a target.
Yeah, so they don't tell you nothing. It's good.
Yeah.
That's cool. Cool. Well, I am looking forward to the next episode.
Yeah. Me too.
They've already showed like promos and stuff, so I expect later.
Yeah, I've stayed out. I'm gonna try to stay away from it because I actually want to be surprised.
Yeah. Yeah, it's nice, isn't it?
Yeah. Because like the same thing when I watch Star Trek Strange New Worlds, they're like next week on next episode. I'm like, I don't want to watch that. Like I don't want to see some. You're right. Yeah, it's like I'll just watch it when it comes out.
Like, I'm here for it. Just show me.
The only thing that was silly, and they do it on everything, and I don't know why. Somebody out there in the contract is like, you must do this on all streaming. It doesn't make any sense. They're like, okay, episode 2, and it's like previously on Obi-Wan Kenobi, and you're like, I literally just watched the episode.
Yeah,
they do it on everything. It's like, number one, I don't understand like who's watching them out of order. Like who's like, I didn't watch episodes 2 and 4, so I'll just skip around and watch it.
Yeah, I don't know. And usually that's a spoiler in itself because so what happens is like I'm pretty sure like Mandalorian season 2 did it. So you have these characters, this cast from like season 1, and now it's like season 2, and it's like 3-4 episodes in.
Okay.
And it's like previously on the Mandalorian, and it's like this stuff that happened last week, and then it's like, hey, remember these people from season 1? Remember this scene here? Yeah, don't worry about it. Don't worry, but just remember those people. Just remember that they're in it.
Yeah.
And then the episode plays out, and you're like, oh, those are the people from season 1. they very much like show you something that happened along the so that you remember that they're.
It's like they don't have faith in people to remember things.
Some people don't, but it's just funny because
sure,
it's like there's a show that you like and you're watching it like every week, and then like people come on from season 1, and you're like, who the heck are those people? Are those people?
Like, why are you watching this?
Like, did you not want? Did you not? Okay, never mind. Good thing for that recap. I would have had no idea who the Mandalorian was.
Oh,
that's right. He's got that little green guy.
Oh, this is Star Wars.
Oh, I forgot last week Grogu ate those bugs. So stupid. But yeah, so looking forward to the future.
Yeah.
Hopefully the third sister gets better. Don't think she will.
No.
Grand Inquisitor's dead. The other Inquisitor guy was in Rebels, so I think he's good.
Okay.
Although the Grand Inquisitor was too.
I doubt he's dead.
I think Rebels timeline was before and then after, so I don't think he's gonna be dead.
I think the next episode is going to be Obi-Wan trying to get her back to Alderaan. And we're going to see a little bit more of Vader.
Yeah, I think so too. Every time somebody says Alderaan, I just think about that scene from Robot Chicken where it's the conference room. They're all sitting in the conference room with Vader and they're like eating dinner. And he's like, "Oh, how's the soup?" It's like, "We have like really good soup here in the Cloud City." And she's like, "Yeah, you know where there was really good soup? On Alderaan." And he's like, "Oh, let it go."
And doesn't he pick up a biscuit? That's the part I remember. As he's like, "Yeah, and we blew it up," and he's like, "And little Alderaan bits everywhere, blah blah blah."
Alderaan chunks all over the galaxy, yeah. Oh my God,
man, it's so really funny.
It's so funny. Great. All right. Well, I will see you, William, next week. General.
No, I'm Ben. I don't know who you're referring to.
It's Benjamin Kenobi.
Benjamin Tenobo.
What was your name for? Obi-Wan? Oh, what is it now? Old Ben
Kenobi. Oh, my name's Obi-Wan Skywalker. That sounds really familiar.
No. Speak such things. Shut your mouth.
I know. I have a strong feeling they're not going to explain why Luke stayed a Skywalker. They're not going to explain it.
But the other thing that they do probably have to explain too is that like Vader knew he had kids.
Yeah.
So at some point he's gonna have to like discover that he has kids. And that bargains the question: if he knew he had kids, why wouldn't he have gone to Tatooine to check with his family?
Yeah.
Kids.
Well, he doesn't know about Leia, but he knows about Luke.
Well, is it just one of those things where like he's fighting Luke on in the ship there, and he just force senses that they're related?
Maybe.
Or are you meant to believe that like he knew that was his son?
Man, it's been a while since I've seen the old trilogy. I don't remember how he learns that. Maybe he just knows the whole time, I guess, right?
It's just like, I don't know.
I haven't
talked about it when he's fighting him there on that,
And yeah, and Empire Strikes Back, right?
Yeah. I am your father.
I am your father.
Search your feeling, you'll find it to be true.
No.
Yeah. It's impossible. I have a right hand.
Yeah.
My right hand. Oh God.
They like cutting hands off, don't they?
They sure do. I love that woman in the market. We're not Mos Espa. We don't listen to the government here. Like, you can't tell when someone's crazy, huh?
That's not.
She's a loose cannon.
Yeah.
Even for like the Empire, she's a loose cannon. Almost like none of the Inquisitors would have put up with her as long as they have, but that's beside the point.
Oh, that was the other thing I was going to say before we finish this is that as much as it was like, it's kind of weird that Princess Leia is like hyper mature. It was kind of bizarre that she was like super smart.
Yeah.
But the thing I did I took a step back and besides the whole like
when
this little girl like 9 years later, she's going to be Carrie Fisher, like in her 30s, is I thought about Jake Lloyd Anakin. at
Mhm.
10 years old or 9
Oh,
years
yeah.
old, whatever he is. And I was like, you know what?
It
They're
fits.
pretty similar. They're pretty similar in how they go about things. I was like, so it makes sense.
Yeah, I think so too. I think they're doing a good job of like making them all kind of seem like they are obviously related.
Yeah.
I love when she owns her cousin too. That's pretty good.
Yeah. Oh, that was great. Yeah, that was really, really good.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Pretty cool. All right. We will be back for episode 3 and 4.
3 and 4. Yeah.
All right, everybody. We will catch you guys next time. Come for the nerds.
Come for the nerds, stay for the holds. Like, comment, and subscribe, and hit that bell for notifications.
Yeah. And buy us a coffee.